Joining together in our church family on this, well, I was going to say beautiful morning. It is a beautiful morning, but boy, is it cold. Yes. Today we will be continuing with our theme of belonging, covering the topic of family dynamics. We'd like to have the lighting of the chalice, and Lee has agreed to light the chalice. Flame of fire, spark of the universe that warms our ancestral heart, agent of life and death, symbol of truth and freedom, we strive to understand ourselves and our earthly home. To prepare us, we will, for our service, we'll take a moment of singing silence. And afterwards, then, we will listen to a prelude of ancestors.
And we want to welcome you yet again to our living room in the mountains of Colorado. We have a song for you this morning that I wrote with Melinda Wood Allen. It's called Ancestors. And please sing along with us. Here we go. Sky above, earth below, fire within me, this I know. Wind and water, sun and time, live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. The stones beneath our feet hold the memories. The stars light our way through the dark. The greening of the leaves, the stirring of the breeze. The river's song reminds us who we are. Sky above, earth below, fire within me, the sun knows. Wind and water, sun and time, live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Can we walk the city's canyons when the moon is on the rise? Can we let our native kindness shine through? Will we recognize a stranger, see the light behind the eyes? Let the beauty of our hearts be what we do. That's Rick Cowley on the Dublin. Angels and ancestors are watching over me. We're a chain of survivors breaking free. I call on those who've come before and those who are yet to be. And I believe that they believe in me. Sky above, earth below, fire within me, the sun knows. Wind and water, sun and time, live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Live and breathe and beat this heart of mine. Live and breathe.
The first place we begin to feel our sense of belonging is within our family system when we are born. It is really through our parents or a caregiver nurturing that makes our personality. From our family dynamics, we get a sense of who we are in the world. And we learn also how we need to act within our culture, our particular culture, and within our family system. Now, with the popularity of DNA testing and ancestry commercials are on right now, holiday specials, when we do that, we can find out precisely the percentage of our ethnicity. And also, we can find out also and pinpoint exactly where our ancestors lived long ago. And that's really exciting, or at least it is to me. We can also build these family trees and they can just go on and on and on. However, there's sometimes that people are taking DNA tests have unexpected results. And people find out family secrets that have long been hidden in shame. Sometimes people find out that their parents that they thought are not their biological parents. They may find out that they have a half-brother or a half-sister, and they go, uh-oh, one of our parents was messing around at some time. And in today's service then, we're going to be exploring DNA testing, scientific studies about DNA testing, and healing also from DNA results. And I'd like to paragraph that with, it's traumatic, and also just think along the lines, if you don't have an unexpected test result, maybe some other challenge or conflict within your family system. But before we explore this topic deeply, let us join together in our upcoming Thanksgiving Day. And I personally like to think of every day as my Thanksgiving Day. So I brought in grateful, thankful, and blessed. I always need to be reminded and live in an attitude of gratitude. Meister Eckhart, the great mystic, stated that if our only prayer is thank you, that is a sufficient prayer. So in the spirit of Thanksgiving, let's join together as we sing number 349, We Gather Together. Today I'd like to light a candle for my ancestors, all of my ancestors, both biological and non-biological, and being adopted into many clans. I'd like to also light one of concern, and it's been a rather rough week in the world. And one thing that happened that really triggered me, of course, ongoing war in Ukraine, which is near my homeland, and also within my ethnicity of my ancestors, a bomb dropped on Poland and killed 2 people. But thank God and Goddess that everything turned out okay and that we didn't have to go to war. Yes, you may come up and light one, and if you need me to do it, I will do that. So.
Candle of Joy, there was a wonderful concert downstairs. The place was filled with music and merrymaking. It was good. We had some great poetry, and it was really nice to see everything happening down there. Also, a candle of Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. And we will be having Donna and I, we're going to have our family Thanksgiving. Turned out we have quite a few guests, and we rented downstairs, and we're going to be using downstairs. And I want to invite anybody who is at open ends, just come and join us. Bring a dish, that's all. It's very simple. On Thanksgiving, we're going to be here from noon till whatever time. And we have plenty of space. We have a beautiful kitchen. Everything is there. So we're missing a few people. And this time, you know, it's always good to have extra people. So you're all welcome, or drop in and whatever. Thank you.
Well, we bless these candles and continue to hold in prayer this week everything that was said. Let us have our group reading now on number 445, and you know the drill. It's called The Womb of Stars. The womb of stars embraces us. Remnants of their fiery furnaces pulse through our veins.
We are of the stars, the dust of the explosions cast across space.
We are of the earth. We breathe and live in the breath of ancient plants and beasts.
Their cells nourish the soil. We build our communities on our harvest of gifts.
Our fingers trace the curves carved in clay and stone by forebears unknown to us.
We are part of the great circle of humanity, gathered around the fire, the hearth, the altar.
We gather anew this day to celebrate our common heritage.
May we recall in gratitude all that has given us birth.
Yes, Bill. Oh, he's coming on. Okay, Bill, just a second then. We'll just sit down just for a moment. He's on the ball. He knows. I asked him to do the offering. And Bill, I just wanted to say that reading reminded me of your service about plants and animals and long ago.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we are going to be taking up our offering today, and also it's like we've had at Halloween. Also, I listen very carefully to what people say. I like to mill around and listen to everybody's conversation and join in. And the other week when Reverend Dave was giving a talk on talking to people that don't quite understand, and Christoph said, give them chocolate. So I'd like to read a little. We're going to see if it works today. I don't want anybody depressed in here. We're going to read from Dr. Judith Orloff and 365 Days of Self-Care for Sensitive People. And it's called A Bit of Chocolate. Chocolate can quickly transform and elevate your mood. It increases serotonin, your body's natural antidepressant, so you don't become as mired in negative thoughts. Chocolate also heightens your energy when you have absorbed emotions or stress from others. A small amount of chocolate is good. So when you're stressed, turn to a bit of chocolate as a special treat and a mood stabilizer. So, yes, Christoph.
It was based in science.
It's scientific. There's Bill. It's based in science, Bill, and we're gonna do a test today to see if it really works, okay? So let us join in the offering, and then also a giving back of chocolate to all of you. And then we will be listening to our other one. Oh, and I just have another one to read too. I listened very carefully to the conversations. Reverend Dale, this is for you. This is for you. You were talking about the great mystic Julian of Norwich the other week, and I just had to bring this out because this is especially for you.
Thank you.
She's talking about all will be well and all will be well. The medieval English...
The thing that's different about a Gerbo vacation, you always have the whole place to yourself. Just you and your people.
All will be well. All will be well. See? Julian was so right. The medieval English anchorage, Julian of Norwich, bequeathed us a radically optimistic theology. Think about that, not a depressing one, an optimistic. She had no problem admitting that human beings have a tendency to go astray. We rupture relationships, we dishonor the divine, make unfortunate choices, and try to hide our faults. And yet, Julian insists, all will be well, and all will be well. In every kind of thing, all will be well. All will be well. And she was quite the mystic back in the day. She was a big proponent of Mother, Father, God. Yate, she est Mary Sue Urbanic Blocher in Mission. Ado Shadantanet, Ado Lakota. My biological mother is from the tribe of the Eastern European people, specifically Baltics. My biological father is from the tribe of Polish people. My birth certificate mother is also from the tribe of Eastern European, Germany. My father is from the people of the Polish. In my lifetime, over 30 years ago, I was adopted in the clan way by the Lakota. Equal Man gave me a name of Kanji Weeman in a sweat lodge and said he would not give me that name unless I was agreeable to doing sweat lodges. That's becoming like a spiritual leader. And I didn't know anything. That was my first time. It was after my prayer in the lodge. So I became a member. And everything I learned was from my brother, who I call my brother, Gilly Running. He's from the Run-By clan in the Lakota on Rosebud Reservation. Also, his uncle, which would be my uncle then, is Crow Dog. And maybe you remember the movie Lakota Woman, and she was married to Crow Dog. Later they divorced, and then she moved to the Navajo Reservation. Shivandanet, I am also Navajo and been adopted into that clan. And my Shimasani, my grandmother, is from the Kia'ani clan, that is the Leaning Tower clan, and my Shiche, my grandfather, is from the Mud clan. Now you ask, why in the world did you bring all this out here? It's because in Navajo culture, whenever you meet someone and you don't know them, you say everything, like who your mother's clan is, who your father's clan is, your paternal grandmother and grandfather, and so forth. And I've been told also that if you're Caucasian, like myself, then if you were meeting a Navajo, you would go through that process and tell about your own ancestry, because it's very important. And the way that they do that, and the reason why they do that, is because as I would be talking to a Navajo person, they would know how to relate back to me if I say I'm from the Kia'ani clan. They would know to call me either sister or auntie or grandmother, whatever. It doesn't depend on your age or whatever. So it's very important, because all the clans really came from changing woman. Now here's a myth for you, Bill. Here's a myth for you within and creation story. Within the creation story of the Navajo people, there was changing woman, and changing woman took from her skin four pieces of skin and made the 4 basic clans, and then from intermarrying, that's how the other clans came about. So it's very important, and I just feel like it's very important to us. Maybe in our culture we don't really think that, but really think about it, how we are related to our clans. Well, it was 5 years ago Thanksgiving, Bill, that we were at your house for Thanksgiving dinner, if you remember back. And Bill brought out all of his genealogy and all of his charts and everything. And I go, oh, that is so wonderful. Oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to find out how much Native American blood I have. Because remember, I said my birth certificate mom was German and Cherokee. So I wanted to find that out. And so it just sounded so wonderful. And around the table we all agreed. And some people took 23andMe, and I was guided to take Ancestry. And I have to tell you that then right before Christmas, I got my results back from Ancestry. And I was hurrying through it and going really excited and everything. And I saw I was, and you can look on the chart, at that time, it's been updated several times, that I was 96% Eastern European. I go, okay, yeah, that makes sense, based on what I just told you about my relatives. And I go, oh, and I see other is 4%. That must be my Native American blood. I gotta find that. And I pulled it up, and it said Jewish. Jewish. Oh, now my mother, she was a Baptist, and my dad was a Catholic. And I always said, oh, they had their own civil war, and I'm the product of that. Because my mother was from the south, and my dad was from the north. Wow, Jewish. Well, at the same time, I kept seeing this message up here in the messaging system, and I go, oh, it's just Ancestry saying, hey, you got your test results. But finally, I clicked on it. It said, at last I have found you. I've been looking for you for 10 years. My name is Donna, and I believe that I am your half-sister. And I remember just screaming out, this can't be true. This just can't be true. Donna went on, and her message to me said, our mother had overdosed on her medication, and she had to be taken to the emergency room. Now this is late in her life. She is getting to the point where she was going to be passing in a few years. And she said the doctor was asking her all kinds of questions because she was just kind of out of her mind, really, from the medication. And he was saying things like, well, what day is it? And who's president? And he goes, how many children do you have? And she said, 3. And later, Donna questioned her, said, Mom, why did you say 3? There's only me and my brother, Roger. And then Mom had to say, my birth certificate mom, or not my birth certificate, sorry, my biological mom had to say, in 1947, I gave away a baby girl, and I'm that baby girl. Ooh, wow. When you get results like that, you're completely shattered, and I was completely shattered. Even though there was lots of joy in it, and I got to meet my sister and everything, and we had a great relationship. She had even sent me, as we were talking, like a family genealogy book, and she loves genealogy as much as I do. So I am one of the lucky ones to have found this and to be taken in by my family, my real biological family. And so I did go to see her later. But however, this is such a shattering, because I go, who am I now? And oh my gosh, I've been running around telling everybody, at least I'm Native American, but I have to go back and think, those natives never did say, hey, what's your ancestral line? They did not. They knew within me that I was, in a way, my grandpa Benelli always said, leave her alone, she's not white, she's red. So I had to remember that, but I was surely shattered. And so, first of all, I called up my mentor from the Center for Sacred Studies and was telling her my story. I didn't quite know what to do. And I have to say that during this, I have to admit, I even lost a little bit of my faith. I didn't know quite how to hang on. And I knew better. I knew that I wasn't pointing to a God out there, why'd you do this to me, God? Or pointing to my parents, why? But anyway, my mentor said, take the pictures and talk to them every day, all of your ancestors. So I would be talking, especially to my mom and dad, why? And I had to do this for 3 months every day. And finally, after a while, it became more of talking like, okay, I understand, Mom, why you had to give me away, and came to some conclusions there. However, I knew that I needed counseling, and I have to admit that. And so I went to the counselor and for a few weeks, and then she gave me a plan. She gave me a written plan. And I go, oh my gosh, I can do this, because I'm a former special ed teacher, and we had to write up individual education plans for each student. And so it was like, well, I know all about plans and how to increase children who are learning disabled in what they need to grow in academically. And so she said, okay, now on the plan, the first thing you have to do is meditate mindfully every day. And I go, well, we do that here. We just do it for a short second, but also there's a group of us that meditate for an hour, and we do it every 2 weeks. So meditation was, okay, I knew how to do that. Oh my goodness, mindful meditation though. I like those meditations where you trip down the trail and look at beautiful mountains and that, but you have to be mindful in the meditation. Okay, I can do that. The second thing was, you have to journal every day about your situation. And I go, well, okay, I love to write, I can do that. The third thing is, you have to exercise 3 to 4 times a week for 20 minutes. I kind of fell down on that one, but I did take some Tai Chi online, and so if I failed on anything, it might have been that one a little bit. But that's how a part of how my healing began. And so after doing all of that, also she gave me a book to read. And I would suggest this book also to anybody else that's having any trauma in their life. It's The Body Keeps the Score, because I'm a full proponent of the mind, body, and spirit connection. And this goes into detail. It's rather academic, but it goes into detail. It's very scientific built about trauma. And it was done originally with veterans from the wars. And then it goes into details about other traumas. And there could be other traumas in our life that I don't know about. Such traumas as perhaps a rape, molestation when you're young, all kinds of divorce, that can be a big trauma for people, a death of a child, all kinds of traumas. So it was a very good book to read. I didn't read it word for word, I have to say. I was not able to do it at that time. I knew that with this information though, I had to heal myself, and I had to forgive my ancestors for all the lies and the deceptions that was pertaining to my birth. Now, the other week, somebody was mentioning Louise Hay. So there are Louise Hay fans here. And Louise Hay, I always like to know what kind of religion everybody's coming from, or faith-based. And Louise Hay is of religious science. And I have to say, that is a new thought idea of faith. And I'm part of that also, at being in unity. But I wanted to read this because this really kept me going. This was something I truly believed myself too. And she says, I believe that we choose our parents. Each one of us decides to incarnate upon this planet at a particular point in time and space. We have chosen to come here to learn a particular lesson that will advance us upon our spiritual, evolutionary pathway. We choose our sex, our color, our country, and then we look around for the particular set of parents who will mirror the pattern we are bringing in to work on in this particular lifetime. And then we grow up and we usually point our fingers accusingly at our parents and whimper, you did this to me. But really, we chose them because they were perfect for what we wanted to work on and overcoming. Okay, so all was in divine order, and all shall be well. Good words, good words. Well, one thing that Marion and I did, and we do it pretty often, is we went to the Parliament of the World Religions, and we went downstairs, and the natives were there, and they were in ceremony quite a bit. And at the ceremony, they were doing ancestral healing ceremonies. And the man was saying to the white audience, go and find your indigenous roots. I didn't like that suggestion. I'm just quite comfortable within my Navajo and Lakota roots. I don't particularly want to go find my Polish roots or my Jewish roots, but that Jewish did kind of get me a little bit. And so later then, ancestral healing courses were being taught at the Shift Network. Do any of you know about the Shift Network? You do, Cindy, yeah. If you want to learn anything spiritual, anything that's a little bit out there, would you say, also, go to the Shift Network. And so that's what I did, because Rabbi Tirsa Firestone, that is a Kabbalist minister, was teaching ancestral healing. And so also, I took 3 courses. I really wanted to get it down. And we sung about affirmations, and there were 4 affirmations that she gave us to do every day, such as, I accept myself as I am for who I am, was one of the great ones, because I had a whole new identity. And then the 3rd course, and I put on the bulletin, Carl Jung. You will find a lot of people in quoting Carl Jung and going from that Jungian psychology. So that was the next step then, was learning all that. And I have to say, for COVID, that was wonderful for me. And I know I'm up here and it sounds like I'm an extrovert, but really I'm an introvert at heart. I really am. And so being in COVID and being locked down and being at home, it was wonderful because I could study. I could be away from the people. So it was wonderful. And one thing that we did, and I would suggest it even if you don't have unexpected DNA results, she taught us how to do a genogram. And I could just show you several genograms here. And what you do with a genogram, you look for patterns in your ancestors' past, as far back as you can go. And I found by doing a genogram that my grandmother, my Shimasani grandmother, that's Polish, had 13 children. She's Catholic. She was Catholic. She still is probably Catholic. But she, during the Depression then, out of these 13 children, she had to start putting them in homes or they were taken from her, I don't know what. But that was something that was going on. Also within my biological mother's side, I have found that there have been children also given away or adopted out, more specifically adopted out, because, well, and then I was too, I'm in that line. So a genogram, that really helps us understand more of our family history, and we could look and maybe Uncle Joe was a horse thief long ago. I don't know what you'll find out in your own family tree. Oh my goodness. And so they did a scientific study, Bill, and I'm sure that this is ongoing. She taught us about epigenetics, and that was a big word. And I remember being at Bill's house, and what's that little thing that you talk into and they give you back an answer? Yeah. Well, anyway, we were playing around with that, and I wanted to know what epigenetics was so I could really say what it is. All I know, and I don't know if this is the accurate statement of it, but there's a gene within you that mutates. It wraps, you're shaking your head, you know? Yeah, so am I on the right track about epigenetics? So. Yes. It also does things, I think, within your system health-wise. But there was a scientific study done with children and grandchildren of Holocaust survivors. And what they found was that the memories not pertaining to the Holocaust was acting out within these people, these survivors, these new ancestors that came along. Not that they remembered every detail, but it really messed up their lives. And also, within every family system just about, there is one person that comes that is very, very sensitive and also empathic. And so that led me on the road of studying about empathy and sensitivity. I knew always that I was sensitive, but that sensitivity and empathy really doesn't live in our world too much now, does it? So I really began a study on that with Dr. Judith Orloff, of course, and others. So I listen also to podcasts of NPEs, and what NPEs is, not parentage expected. And I found on those NPE podcasts that there were lots of people in this same situation. And as we do more and more DNA testing, guess what? There's more and more coming out. So this is beginning to bubble up really in our society greatly. But it helped me because I knew I wasn't the only one. And eventually then, it's taken me 5 years to even come out and talk about this. I was able to tell my story and be a guest on this podcast. And also, one of the members here gave me a book, and it's called Celibacy. Now, you know what celibacy is. But this is a love story, a memoir of a Catholic priest's daughter. Now, this daughter did not get raped by the Catholic priest. But anyway, she found out later that the person that adopted her, that called herself mother, was really her grandmother, and her older sister was actually her mother, and she and this priest loved each other dearly. So she opens up her memoir with a prologue, a letter to the Pope, Your Holiness, and she was talking about, I think that priests should be able to marry, because she knew her mother and father were so much in love, but they couldn't get married. So they perpetuated a lie. Oh my goodness. So, I would just say that Mirabai Starr stated in her book, Wild Mercy, and she wrote, Wild Mercy, Living the Fierce and Tender Wisdom of the Women Mystics. And she says that in today's chaotic, changing world, we may need to draw from all religions of the world. And isn't that wonderful? Because within our principles, We do that here at UU. We take in everyone and every religion, and we learn about them with their speaking. Each one has a part of the truth, a part of their sacred story, as Bill was saying. It's their truth, and so we have to honor it. Mirabai was suggesting as a mystic, and as she said that we should take a Sabbath. Now we do, we're here, this is our Sabbath in our culture. And she said to really take a Sabbath and to go within and so forth. And during Shabbat, which I learned in Jewish, is on Friday night, they light candles and they have bread and wine or grape juice, just like we do in our Christian communion. And they bring in also a little prayer. And it's during that 24 hours, because it goes from Friday to Saturday night, the Shekinah comes in, and she is in Kabbalah and in Jewish mysticism, the mother part of God. And she comes in, so we can expect, wow, gee, this is wonderful. So I'm beginning to look for it. I tried my very best to do that every Friday. Well, it was easy, I think, for me to do that because of that little bit of Judaism within my DNA. And both Unity, that I'm from, and UU have seen this concept of taking on other religions really wonderfully. And I have seen within the movement, I don't know if any of you have within movements, that this part of, I don't know, feminine sacred ways are coming out, because this is from mine and UU. If you look at it, I've never seen anything like this in my life. And I even said to my friend, who's also Unity, have you looked at Unity magazine? There's Mirabai's star, Call on the Sacred Feminine. I go, my goodness, Unity is talking about this and not just about principle. See, I felt that what we need is to go beyond principle. Our principles are good. It's just our perception of all the principles change. And pick up a little card like this to know our 7 principles. We did a whole year, I believe, on the principles. And also, Lee made this beautiful banner. And here are the 4 agreements. And that is from a Toltec out of Mayaland, from Mexico. And I don't know the 5th one so well. Be skeptical, but learn to listen, which all of you are doing greatly today. Also, these are my Shiros and Joy Harho. Look at that, Native American poet, laureate, on poetry to heal. So I hope my poetry helps heal people too. And then I got UU World, and my goodness gracious, in it was writing the relationships, embracing an indigenous worldview on climate change. And the whole article was on climate change. See, we are ahead of the game, I think, jumping on board within our UU church, headquarters or whatever. And also I feel that other religions, maybe, that are able to listen and be okay, everything is just fine. All shall be well. It's good to know all shall be well also with everything going on in the world. And with that, I'd just like to say that after 5 years of healing, I now have a sense of who I am and who I came here to be. And we came to earth really to love, serve, and remember. So let us listen then and draw it all together into conclusion.
everybody. My name is J.D. Martin.
And I'm Jan
I
Garrett.
don't want
And we are
that
so
one. We
happy
want
to welcome you guys yet again to our
Want
living room. We love having you here with us.
to love, serve, and remember.
Yeah. There it is.
$9 headlamp is taking the world by
And all shall be well. All shall be well. All manner of things will be well. It's okay.
Why have you come to earth? Do you remember? Why have you taken birth? Why have you come? Love to serve, remember. Love to serve, remember. Why have you come to earth? Do you remember? Why have you taken birth? Why have you come? Love to serve and remember. Love to serve and remember. Love to serve and remember. Love to serve.
Great. So it all boils down to not our story so much. Getting through the story might be the process. And it ultimately boils down to love, to serve, and to remember. So God bless you. And thank you. As we say in Lakota Metakwioisen, we're all related. Let us extinguish the chalice. And I believe there's an announcement today.
Yeah. The announcement is what I was saying earlier too. We're going to have a Thanksgiving downstairs on Thursday. And it'll be all afternoon and evening as long as it goes. We'll be there from 12 o'clock onwards. We'll probably have a dinner at 2 o'clock or thereabouts. And it's a potluck. If you just bring a can of jellied cranberries, that's enough. Because I'll eat a whole can on that day. No, and you don't have to bring anything, but anybody, especially if you have also friends or somebody who's at loose ends, on Thanksgiving it's important to have a sense of you can come someplace and feel the warmth. And we're going to have the downstairs heated, and it was part of the deal. We pay for the heat, we get the space. And so it will be comfortable, it'll be decorated, and we're going to have fun, you know. People are just people, and community is community, and I want to make sure this is extended to anybody, especially if you don't have plans yet. Most of us do, but
And we'll have a great family reunion, a new family reunion.
because this is a family, and we have 6 degrees of separation that have been come down to 2. Yeah.
Yes, Lee.
Also, I wanted to say, December 4th is going to be our pledge drive kickoff. And we're gonna have potluck lunch downstairs on that date. And I believe we're gonna have some arts and crafts stuff and maybe an auction or something to that point. We're still planning. But that's on December 4th. And then the following weekend, the 9th and 10th, Donna, do you have the 10th and 11th? Donna, do you have the hours on that, Saturday and Sunday?
There will be a schedule forthcoming.
To be announced.
To be announced, but it's gonna be a craft show,
Arts, crafts, and
sale.
music.
Christmas craft show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, it's-
December 4th is, I always like people, when you give a date, give the day of the week.
Oh, that's a Sunday,
Okay,
it's Sunday,
thank
it's, yeah. It's the
Taking advantage
kickoff.
of the heat after service is
Right.
very beneficial for any group.
So it's potluck down in the basement after the service.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have been more clear on that.
And for our Thanksgiving lunch, if you don't feel like you don't have something to bring something of your hobby, a craft or something, because it's just fun to show people how to do something. That's as good as anything to eat. The mind eats as well.
Speaking of eat, oh, go ahead.
One other quick announcement, any Unitron members will have a quickie rehearsal after coffee hour today, right at the piano.
Okay.
And there's a lot of food, so please eat a lot.
Donna?
And the downstairs space is available and open until 4 o'clock through the holidays.
Oh, through the holidays.
Because we have a space that's already heated from our services. And we may as well take advantage of that warmth in keeping our doors open for those who want to come.
And that's on Sundays?
Sundays.
Okay.
Till 4, maybe later, depending on request.
Well, I'd like to, oh, good.
Today, I heard at the Legion on Bangor Road, there is a turkey senior citizen free dinner. And I believe it starts at 11
Today?
on the Bangor Road at the
Today?
Legion.
Oh.
And the Legion.
Okay.
Anybody can go.
Yeah, we've done that. We did that before, didn't we?
I think
Yeah,
so.
we
We'll-
did.
We might have done Elks.
We did one at
This
the
one's
Elks
at
Club.
the Legion.
No, I remember.
American Legion?
I haven't been there yet.
Well,
I need to go.
anyway,
You got
we
your
want to
tickets
thank,
for 14?
we want to thank Reverend Dale and Jim for providing the food today. And now, I know Christoph was talking about food, and it's time to eat. And if anybody has any questions or comments or anything like that, come up, Nancy.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Thank
Quite deep in.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. If you'd like to show your support, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed, and help us out by sharing this message by clicking the share button. If you'd like to make a monetary donation to you, Church Holton, there is a link to our online donations in the video description down below. And again, thank you so much, and have a blessed day.